But the glories of 1981 couldn't be repeated, and in the next few years England were badly depleted by bans on players who'd been to South Africa, Gooch, Boycott, J.K. Lever and Underwood amongst them. In 1982-83, England lost in Australia under Bob Willis, although it wasn't a disastrous defeat. But there were 5 changes of captains in the next 4 years, and England were blackwashed in the West Indies in 1984. Things looked up at last under David Gower in India in 1984-5, when England achieved something historic by coming back after losing the first test to win the series. So everybody was very hopeful when the Australians returned to England in 1985. In a 6-match series, the first 2 tests were shared and the next 2 drawn, and there was therefore all to play for at Edgbaston. Rain interrupted the first 2 days, and Australia still had 2 wickets remaining at the start of the third. If England were to have any chance of victory, they needed a big score, and they needed to get it quickly. We bowled Australia out, which was a good start, and then we got our runs quickly. Tim Robinson played well. I was, we say, happy enough with my 200. You don't get too many of those in Test match cricket. And the great thing was we scored those runs quickly. So we gave ourselves a chance.
That's one for the memory. And even the bowler is clapping the stroke and the century. As Gowers has gone on now to 101. Smashed that away past Bissell's at short leg. Thompson to Gower. Pretty to watch. There's a good shot. Picked that nicely. Got himself to the pitch of the ball and hit it beautifully straight.
Threw mid off for 4 runs, and even without a slip he can't block all the gaps. And applause there for the 250 partnership. Still to be Holland. He's picked that one up with the swing out towards long on. Is it cleared? Yes, up there the 2 arms aloft. It's 6 runs to David Gower. Oh, he's gone for another one. Practice straight and a fine stroke for 4 this time. 300 goes up. Gower puts on the pressure. It's a beautiful stroke through the offside. Races away for 4 runs. And nobody need run for that one either. Well, that was a bad ball as Hollett comes back, short outside the off stump, crashed through the offside by Gower, and it's 4 again. 3:37, England have gone ahead. And he's rounded off the day with an absolutely glorious extra cover drive. No doubt about that. Glorious extra cover drive from David Gower brings him past the 200 mark. A magnificent innings, his best in Test match cricket, just nipping past his previous 200 here, which he made against India in 1979. Oh no, from Mike Gatting.
There was no let-up, as Gatting also made a century, and Botham responded to the wishes of the crowd, first ball.
What about that? That is quite incredible. Quite incredible. First ball, bonk for 6. And there's another one, 6 more to follow. He's pressed that away on the leg side this time. That's another great hoik out to deep square, and it's been beautifully taken.
Totally demoralised, the Australians started disastrously as Richard Ellison ripped through the top order, swinging the ball away to take 4 wickets in 15 balls. Victory seemed assured.
And it's LBW first ball, so Ellison's on a hat-trick. Ellison again to Wood. Slobbed in the air, gentle, anybody going for it? Oh, the word, yes. A long delay there.
Richard Ellison bowled beautifully. The ball was swinging for him. I mean, the key wicket, as ever, against Australia in that era was Alan Border's.
Well, what about that? Border goes clean bowl by Ellison, 36 for 5. Real drama.
And we got rid of him on that Monday night, and it looked like everything was falling into place with one day to go. Weather didn't help us on the fifth day. I woke up, in fact, to a phone call from my man Holmes, who said, what's the weather like today? I said, well, I'm not quite sure. I've not looked out yet. He was amazed that the England captain hadn't been up at 6 o'clock checking on the weather, because in fact it was drizzling, and we didn't start on time. It took us a long time to get on the field, and again, the key point on that final day was the catch of Alan Lamb's boot. Wayne Phillips had been batting very well, the left-hander, their keeper. Looked like holding out and saving them the draw. But it came off Lamb's boot. I looked round just in time, found it in my hands. The umpires gave the right decision, give them credit. I mean, the Australians had never been happy about this one, but it was the right decision. Gave him out, and we wrapped up the test match. So one more victory to England, 2-1 up in the series, and 1 to play. So an important test match that was.
Done it again, 142 all out. And England winning a test match, a thoroughly deserved victory. A game in which they've outplayed Australia with bat, with ball and in the field.
And so to the Oval, where victory or a draw would ensure that the Ashes were regained. Gower knew how important it was to win the toss and bat first, and that's exactly what he did.
The onus was on us to make a big score. So Graham Gooch and I are out there. Tim Robinson got out quickly. And there was a bit of a torrid time early on with the new ball, and Craig McDermott bowled very well, and I had just a little bit of luck early on.
Lawson from the pavilion end to Graham Gooch. It's a lovely shot, threw it off. It'll race away for 4 runs.
I hadn't had a lot of success against Australia. On my first tour there in 78-79, I had a poor series. I got a few runs the following series against them, and then was dropped in the 81 series at the end of the season for lack of success. So to come back in 85 and score 190 at the Oval in one of the matches was a bit of a relief. David Gower played superbly that day as captain. He really took the Australians apart and really set up the victory for us, which enabled us to take the series 3-1.
Oh, lovely stroke. Lent into that again. Stroked it through the offside for 4 more.
Too short. It's been the problem with the bowlers for much of the time. To rest. Well, his accuracy's all awry, and that's 100 for David Gower. Another test match century for the England captain, and life is pretty good for him at the moment.
By the time we got into our swing, I think that's as well as I've played against Australia. I mean, I've had some quite good times against them over the years, but for me that was an important knock. Because as captain I was desperate to win the series and win the Ashes. For the side it was important, for me it was important, and we needed to get off that good start on that first day.
Bennett again. That's a short one which you can't bowl to Gooch. 140 odd on the board, it's 4 more. 320 up, and that means a 300 partnership. Golden days for English cricket this summer.
The Oval has always been a good place to bat as a test batsman. It's an excellent pitch to play on, and certainly that day everything right for us, and the Australians ended up chasing the leather all round the ground, and that was nice to see on our part, because been on the end of a few beatings from Australia in recent times, but that day was our day, and to put on 350 and to be a very entertaining day as well was very satisfying.
England finished with 464, of which Gooch and Gower contributed all but 111. Paul Downton with 16 was England's next highest scorer. Botham and Ellison then took 12 wickets between them, and Australia were beaten by an innings and 94 runs. In fact, it was the first time since 1956 that England had beaten Australia by an innings twice in succession.